Title: Aita For not letting my brother-in-law see my girls after he called CPS on me. I 33 lost my husband in an accident and he passed away shortly after he arrived at the hospital. We have 2 girls who are 9 and 5 and it's been very devastating and very difficult to be taking care of them while going through these tough times. My mom would help a lot and I'm so thankful for that. My in-laws have been keeping to themselves, but my brother-in-law would visit often to see the girls. He has always wanted kids on his own but hasn't been able to because his wife has medical issues. He treats my girls well. And has been generous but treats me poorly and makes comments and criticizes my parenting often. He implied he wanted to be their guardian but I told him no. He started demanding I bring the girls over to my in-laws' house. And would get upset when I tell him I have work. He'd claim I'm clearly not taking care of the girls and don't fit to be a single parent. We got into a huge argument after I told him I no longer will be welcoming him into my house because of his behavior. And he reported me to CPS after I refused to let him into my house. He claimed that I'm not taking good care of my girls' needs, refusing to let them see their grandparents, being busy with work and other things I don't know about. I had to deal with CPS once then after they did a surprise visit and thank goodness it went well, although I was told to deal with some issues that are normal in every family. I told my in-laws about what my brother-in-law did but didn't do anything. His wife was the one who told me eventually. It's been over a month now. My in-laws are calling to tell me that I should let my brother see the girls after I told them that only them see my girls. I refused to let him see the girls after what he did and the disrespect he's shown, but my in-laws are pressuring me saying these are their granddaughters and I have no right to act like this just out of spite. Edit to say that the issues I'm dealing with are trying to balance my working hours with the time I spend with the girls. I have my mom either come over or take them to her house so I could pick them up after I get off work. Another thing is therapy, and my girls are currently in therapy. I'm trying to take it slow but it's just so overwhelming, and then to have to deal with my brother-in-law's behavior is just a lot for me, and there isn't anything more I want than to spend time with my girls, but I have to work since no one is willing to help with anything. I'm not the person who feels comfortable asking for help, so I do all I can. Title: Aita For calling my grandma by wrong name until she gets my name right. This has going on since forever, so decided to do something. I'm 16 meters, half Mexican from my dad's side and my mom's side is Scottish. NGL most of my mom's family is high-key racist and has been problems sometimes growing up. My grandma on my mom's side never liked my dad and was happy after they divorced when I was 7. My name's Emiliano and my grandma always complained how hard she tried to change my parents' minds, and it's a shame I got stuck with it. I'm actually proud of it. My dad told me about the revolutionary I was named after and their history. But literally my entire life my grandma refuses to say it. She says it's too many syllables. I got a cousin named Alexandria and they say the whole name, and always came up with her own names. She says Leo, or once tried to get everyone to call me Elliot as a nickname for a while. Obvious my mom's family was for it, but my dad refused that cause it's not my name. Is always the same thing when I see them. She'll call me Leo or whatever. Even when I correct her she says it's not a big deal and keeps calling wrong name. I told my mom I don't like it, but she always say I'm just not gonna change her mind and no point in fighting it. So I decided if she not gonna wanna call me by my actual name and not gonna call her grandma or say her right name. Is stupid, I know, but it's bothering me more that she don't care, and all my other cousins she says their names fine, no nicknames. Her name is Susan, so I decided to call her Sandy. TBH I was scared to say it, but that look on her face was worth it. LMAO. It wasn't surprise Pikachu face, but it was close. She said that is not how I address her and it's grandma. I told her nah, I'ma call her Sandy from now until she says my actual name. It got awkward. My mom was serious and my GMA got super red in the face. She started ranting about me being a fucking disrespectful child, and this is all my dad influencing me again. My mom told me I need to apologize immediately, but IDK what gave me the balls to not do it. We ended up leaving their house early and my mom didn't talk to me until we got home. She say what I did was out of line and I don't disrespect my elders ever. She wants me to apologize and I'm grounded until I do. Title: WIBTA for insisting we alter the custody agreement after my ex brought me back the wrong baby. So this guy, Sean, and I have a complex history, but the important part of that history is that Sean got me and another woman, Lydia, pregnant at roughly the same time. Our sons are only about 6 weeks apart in age. Lydia's son is currently just over 15 months, while mine is just under 17 months. Lydia and I have identical custody agreements. We both had sole custody for the entire first year, with Sean only having visitation, and when both boys were a year old, it became 50-50 custody. Both myself and Lydia have our sons for the odd weeks, while Sean gets the even weeks. This means Sean has both boys at the same time. He pushed for this, as he wanted a week on per week off from looking after kids. He also requested this so his sons could bond, but his primary motive was getting time off. Sean had both boys this last week. He brought my son back earlier today. I was on a work call and the baby was sleeping, so Sean just sort of placed the baby, carrier and all, down on the floor and left silently. When the baby woke up and started crying, I got off the work call and immediately noticed that this was not my son, as my son has blue eyes, and this baby had green eyes. Taking off the baby's hat also showed dark blonde hair, and not my son's light brown hair. I immediately called Sean, in full panic mode, telling him to bring me the correct child right this second. It had only been about 10 minutes, so Sean wasn't far away and hadn't gone by Lydia's yet, but Jesus fucking Christ, it was the worst 10 minutes of my life. Sean came back smiling, carrying my son, and says in the most condescending tone of voice, "See? He's fine. No harm done." I told him that we are fixing this custody agreement. He is not having both boys alone again. He couldn't tell his own sons apart, so the solution here is for him to not be in a position to confuse them. I feel that this whole situation is already a total fucking farce, and I should never have been in that position. I want to know that I have my child, not Lydia's. I do not feel that this is a lot to ask for. Sean has said that I'm being unreasonable. Says it's an easy mistake to make, and that there were times his parents brought home the wrong baby from nursery without a half-sibling to excuse it, and that this was the first time it happened and the issue only lasted 10 minutes. He also says that I'll be causing undue harm to all three guys in this situation, as the kids won't get to bond with their half-brother, and Sean won't get any time to himself if he has Lydia's son on even weeks and mine on odds, meaning that he'll be more exhausted and it will decrease his income as he won't be able to work overtime, which he currently does in his weeks without the boys. I said I'd be contacting the people who drew up our agreement to amend it, and Sean called me selfish, crazy. I am worried that I might be as I could easily be acting irrationally, and if I am doing that, then there is a risk that the main person this will harm is my son, by affecting his relationship with his father and half-brother, which I have no intention of doing. Title: Aita For having a breakdown after my sister's announcement. I have been struggling to conceive for the past 9 years. It has been a very brutal journey for me and my husband. We have experienced many disappointments. My sister is also happily married and they adopted 2 teenagers, who are also siblings. I have stopped going to my sister for any emotional support as her advice has always been, just adopt. I know that she thinks that the fact that I want to spend so much money on fertility treatments instead of adopting is stupid. In the past few years, I haven't spoken to my sister because my life revolved around the treatments and I didn't have any time for her negativity. This whole experience changed a lot of things in my life. Everything is sometimes heartbreaking and I get irrationally emotional. I am pro-choice and I know that in my brain, but when someone mentions that they had abortion, I immediately see red. I usually remove myself from the situation and I feel very bad, guilty for even thinking some awful things about women. Recently we had a family dinner for our parents' anniversary and she seemed a little off. My mom kept asking her what happened. At first, she wouldn't tell what happened. After dinner, me, Mom and my sister were sitting in the living room while the guys and the kids were outside. My sister was grimacing and my mom again asked her what happened. She confided that she recently had an oopsie and had to about. She said that she already had 2 kids and she doesn't want more. I froze. I had always assumed that my sister was also facing problems, which is why she adopted. It felt like a punch to the gut to find out that wasn't the case. Worse, my mother was gushing and telling my sister how proud she was of her and that she was so brave. Something broke in me. I yelled. I screamed. I said some awful things. I said that her family wasn't real and she was an idiot for having an abortion. I told her that the fact that she would have an abortion for them was stupid. I told her that she wasn't even a woman because she couldn't appreciate the joys of pregnancy. I told her that she was going to regret doing this when they turn 18 and forget all about her. I stormed out after that, and after having another breakdown in my own house, I felt guilty and ashamed. I called my sister and mother next day and told them I was sorry. Both of them were incredibly pissed at me, especially because the kids overheard me telling that they weren't her real kids. I have been informed that they were all going to cut contact with me. I have apologized and tried to explain my side of things and they aren't willing to listen. I don't think I should lose my family for a mistake, but I don't know.